Hi, hope you're doing great and having a wonderful, wonderful day. Well, this picture of Harry shows that things can surely be rough. It's hard to believe, but after all these years, Samantha's case against Meghan continues to drag on, and they are still fighting in court. Samantha's case got reduced a couple of times, and on her third amended complaint, she was allowed by the court to continue her complaint against Meghan Markle. Now the complaint boils down to defamation and defamation by implication. The complaint goes into a long saga of how Meghan said she didn't know Samantha and how Samantha feels Meghan's haters turned on her and made her life hard. Samantha complains she wrote a book and didn't get the income from the book that she felt she was due. She felt that she lost her job because of Meghan. And her complaints go on and on and on. Then, of course, she sticks in a complaint that Meghan and her father aren't close, and so on. Meghan's, of course, has to defend this complaint, and what Samantha's looking for is damages, court expenses, punitive damages, and so forth. Well, this is all ridiculous. It should have been thrown out of court a long time ago. They gave her this chance on the third amended complaint, and recently the court has said there will be a mediation held sometime, I guess September, October, maybe November, and they should see if they can sort this out through mediation. The mediation can be done through video conference. It doesn't have to be done in person. Of course, Samantha filed this in Florida, where she lives, and Meghan lives in California. Meghan was nice enough not to complain about the location of the court case, and so Meghan doesn't want to go to Florida, so they will probably do this by video conference and see if a mediator can settle these defamation complaints and get this case finally ended. If Trump's case takes this long, we'll be here till we're all dead. However, we'll have to see how this goes and how it gets sorted out. But the case is frivolous. Meghan did not say anything disparaging about Samantha initially. And she really didn't say anything disparaging. The main thing Samantha didn't like was that Meghan said she grew up as an only child. That's, of course, because she has a different mother. They have the same father. They're about 20 years difference in age. So when Samantha knew Meghan, Samantha was at an age where she was up, dating boys, getting pregnant, and so forth, going to, college, and so she wouldn't have known Meghan on a level where Meghan would have recognized her as a relative. She was probably just like any babysitter or other person who came around and didn't really know what a sister was at her, toddler age. So Samantha's recollections are different because she was, around 20. So naturally, their own definitions and remembrances are going to be very, very different. And then as the wedding drew near, when Meghan was getting ready to wed Harry, Samantha threw herself into the media. She sought media attention, and she asked media people to come to her house so they could watch the wedding of Meghan and Harry at her house, and she was going to also, I think, provide food and so forth, and her comments. So she sought media attention, and she became a public figure at that point. And as a public figure, you're open to a lot of criticism, as we all see with Meghan. She gets everything thrown at her, and you really can't say much because that comes with the position. So when the public media started going at Samantha, calling her names, saying they didn't like her, some of them probably didn't like her because they liked Meghan. Some of them didn't like her because they just didn't like her from her appearances on her podcast, her interviews, her trips to England, her TV interviews, and articles that she wrote. So some of them didn't like Samantha because of her own words, because of what she was saying, how she acted, and so forth. And some of them probably were people who liked Meghan and therefore felt that Meghan was being abused by Samantha for whatever reason. But that's how it goes when you're a public person, and you are going to get some criticism by regular people. And Samantha said she lost her job. That can happen when you become a public figure, unfortunately. And may or may not be due to Meghan. It might be for other reasons, maybe because of how Samantha was acting in the media. And she said that people in her community, where she was very popular because of Meghan, some of the people didn't like her. Well, that of course comes with being a public figure. You don't have to run around in your community saying, yeah, I'm Samantha, Meghan's sister. And if you're doing that, as she was, of course, people are going to form an opinion. Pro, con, neutral, it doesn't matter. So I think both of these complaints of defamation will be thrown out. As a public figure, she has no complaints to have. And if she didn't want to have all of the media attention, the public complaints, she should stop inviting the media to her and inviting herself to go to various media projects in the United States and abroad. Samantha is known throughout the world, and her book is known throughout the world. Some people bought it because they wanted to know what Samantha knew about Meghan, and some people felt that Samantha, being so much older than Meghan, probably didn't have any real information to give in her book, but was just giving hypotheticals as to what she imagined was going on with Meghan. So, it's a personal opinion whether or not they wanted to see the book, and I don't think Meghan ever said anything negative about the book, except that she felt that it was odd that for someone to write a book about her when they really didn't know her. And by these controversies, we can see that Samantha really didn't know Meghan. She knew her as the little child, but as far as what was really going on in her life, her thoughts, her feelings, her actions, Samantha really had no knowledge of who Meghan was. And so it continues. So we'll have to see how this case sorts out as it goes into mediation. Are they going to be able to settle the whole thing and finally get this thing cleared up? Or are they going to go on to a trial? Big waste of money. And I'm pretty sure Samantha's going to lose this one, and it might be time to just end it. Now, of course, somebody who sues you, I would never allow a sister who sued me, and especially who carried out a lawsuit to a third amended complaint and sued over years, to ever enter my life again, because this is a problem person. This person is not out to help me or my family. This person is not to be trusted around me or my children or my husband. and would not be trusted with any information I might accidentally spill. It's kind of the same situation everybody gives with William and Harry in their situation. So Samantha is going to be out forever in my book, as will the brother, who also has a podcast during which he spends the whole time saying negative things about Meghan, making things up, trying to increase his popularity and maybe become a comedian. The father is just a mess. That father went through a lot of fake illnesses, trying to make Meghan come back into his house out of guilt. Meghan was smart enough not to do that, and he is very bitter. And he says, well, now she's withholding the grandkids from me. But she has to. Thomas Markle Sr. has proved to be a danger to Meghan and her children and to Harry. Thomas Markle Sr. started a podcast with a man who was very exploitive. It was the same man, I think, who got him to do some crazy pictures during the wedding or before the wedding, and got him in trouble then, and then started this podcast with him, and it was very exploitive. And even Thomas Markle realized it was going crazy when that man started stalking Doria. Doria had a new home. This man found out where she lived. He was sneaking around in the bushes trying to find the kids and trying to get pictures of the kids and Doria. I imagine he was hoping that he would peek through the bushes one day and see Doria and the kids running around naked or something, so he could get exclusive pictures. So then Thomas Markle cut off his relationship with that man, and that man went on to now is selling bus rides to Meghan's house. He's taking any person with a few bucks into a van, and then they ride to Meghan's house in Montecito, ride around the house. He shows them the yard, the playground area, the swimming pool, all the structures around the house, talks about Meghan and so forth, identifies the streets. And so he is still a danger. And this man was helped by Meghan's father. So Thomas Markle just doesn't have any sense. He might be a nice man, but he doesn't listen. He wants to be the boss, but he's only creating more problems, and he's creating a danger to the children especially, but also to Harry and Meghan. Who wants to have these people creeping around your house and him with a camera trying to find photos with his telephoto lenses, trying to peek through your windows, through your bushes, and trying to get that special photo? So Thomas Markle will have to understand that he is the grandfather that will have to be kept away from the children, maybe when they're older, if they're able to protect themselves, or if they have enough security to protect them, he might be able to interact with them. But he also harbors a lot of hate in his heart, and he speaks negatively of Harry, and he speaks negatively of Meghan. And who wants to have someone around your kids who's speaking negatively about the parents? I wouldn't. So for that reason also, and for many others, Thomas Markle should not expect, in my opinion, let's see if I can get this other picture up. He should not expect to be with the kids or close to the kids. He has kind of burnt that bridge, and Meghan's main job is not to be a faithful daughter. She has grown past that, and her main job is to take care of her children and her husband and her home. Now, they always talk about Thomas Markle and his health. I have yet to see anything that indicated that he had a heart attack, but the son said he went from his Oregon place where he was working in a marijuana place with his son, and he went down to stay with Thomas Markle. However, after that, he moved out of Thomas Markle's home, and so Thomas Markle Jr. lives away from Thomas Markle, and Thomas Markle Sr. still lives by himself. And so all of this stuff about Thomas Markle being so ill and dying seems to be a fake. I don't see any evidence. If Thomas Markle was really dying, I would expect Thomas Markle Jr. to actually be living in the house with Thomas Markle and taking care of him, or I would expect Samantha to either move into Thomas Markle's house with him. She can do that in a wheelchair and bring her husband, or I would expect Samantha to have Thomas Markle Sr. actually move into her Florida house permanently where she can take care of him. In fact, when Samantha arranged to meet Thomas Markle, she didn't go see Thomas Markle. She had Thomas Markle and both of them, the son and the father, come to her house in Florida. So how sick could he have been if Samantha was going to sit in her living room in a wheelchair and wait for her father, who's supposed to be so sick, to fly on an airplane across the country, travel to her house, and greet her in her living room? It doesn't make any sense. So there's so many lies about this family, and I support Meghan fully in staying away from the chatter, taking care of her kids, taking care of Harry, keeping her home safe, and doing the best she can among all of the chaos and lies. So what do you think? Okay, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.